This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, welcome to the session. So let's start. Let's start our session. So yeah, let me connect to my Docker server, right? We had started yesterday, the Docker, right? So yeah, I deleted yesterday. Let me create it freshly. Instances. Yeah, sorry, I stopped it yesterday. So let me start it. Okay. Still, let's wait. It's pending state. Yeah. So let's connect to the server. You can't connect. Yeah. So let's make it as a root user. So what we have discussed yesterday, so Docker is a containerization tool. We how to install it. So and how we are taking the image right from the Docker hub and using Docker. Consider this is Docker hub, right? This is the Docker hub, and this is your server. And you are downloading the images. Consider this is the image, right? And you are downloading the image from the Docker hub. This is your AWS Docker server, right? So you have installed yesterday using install Docker, right? So after that, you started the service by using systemctl start Docker, right? And after that, you had pulled the image from the Docker hub itself, right? I hope you guys created the Docker hub account. If not, please go ahead and create the Docker hub account. Okay. So we are pulling the Docker image, Docker pull image name. So now the image will be downloaded to the server. And from that server, you are creating, from that image, you are creating your containers. You are using some Docker run command, right? So to create a image. And our Docker server will have a IP address, Docker server. What is the Docker server IP? Right? This is the IP address, right? So this is our Docker server IP. And each container also will have the IP. How the IP address you are seeing that? By connecting to the container, right? So you are using some Docker inspect command, or you can use by connecting to the container exec, right? And checking the IP address, right? So can you draw this diagram so we can continue? Can you draw this? Can you draw this diagram? Right. Fine. So so let's start. So what I said yesterday, yeah, we can pull the Docker images. For example, Docker pull. For example, I want CentOS image. If you didn't specify the version, colon version name, it will take latest. If you see CentOS latest one is download. The image is downloading, right? Right. So how to list the images? You can use Docker images is the command, right? You have Ubuntu, you have CentOS. How to list down the containers? Docker ps hyphen, right? You have two containers in my system. I don't want these two. Let me remove it. Docker rm, okay, container ID. If you have two container IDs, just provide one with space, another one you can space another provide container ID, right? Those are right. So why? Because so if you observe here, each image will have a image ID and each container will have a container ID. Okay. So for the container IDs or image ID for the identification purpose IDs. Okay. So for example, let's try to create a container now with the help of this Ubuntu image. Right. So let's create a container. Docker run -it. So I want to create a container, Docker run -it. So I want to use this Ubuntu. Okay, copy and paste. Okay, slash bin bash. I want to connect to the system. Otherwise, if you want to create at the background, you can use hyphen Docker run -it Ubuntu. Yeah, for this it is not having that -d option. Let's go with bin bash only. Okay. So now you directly connected to the container. If you want to exit, you can directly exit from this. Now if you see docker ps whether container is created or not, hyphen a, you can see this is the container is created. So this one is right. This one is 89D0, right? You can see 9D0 is this one, but what is this one? This is created only, but it's not who created at the time of error, right? You are seeing this error message at the time this is created. Let me remove this docker rm. I don't want this one. Copy and paste. And here you can see that details container ID from which image you created this, and and you can see how many seconds it is created, right? And status currently stopped state. Let's start it. Docker start, and you should provide container ID, right? Start. Now if you see the status docker ps hyphen a, now it is showing up. How to stop it? If you want, you can use docker stop, and it is stop. Right, we are trying to stop it. What is this name? Gallant asked him. So while creating the container, we are not providing any name. We are not provided. We haven't provided any name. Okay. So that's why it is providing some random name. Docker itself provides some random name. But if you, for example, if you rerun the same command, what will happen? It again creates a container. If you see another container is created, right? So both are in not running state. Both are in not running state. So can you note down? Can you note down stop and start commands? So we can stop the container, we can start the container, okay. Or if you want to pause means stopping the services in the container, okay. Docker pause is the command, okay. Docker pause container ID, okay. PIUSC pause. So anyway, so we have two containers. Now the name is kind sinder, right? But I want to provide my own name to my container, okay. So let's run it, but at that time of running, just provide hyphen name equal to some Raju server. Now the container is created. Let's exit. Now if you see Raju server is there, right? For example, let me try the same command again. What will can they create another container with the same name? Let's see that. Is any another Raju server? No. Only one server is there, but you are getting the error. The error is the container slash Raju server is already in use, right? So you cannot create with the same. So better every time if you provide your customized name, that is good approach, right? So let's try to let's try to create a Tomcat, okay, container, okay, with the port number 8080 exposing. So what I said yesterday, so we can expose the port number not directly within the container epic. We cannot access the application. We have to use port exposing. We have to expose the container port with the main port. Okay, then one we can access. Let's try that now. So for that, what you have to do, you have to use docker run. So first of all, if you want to pull the Tomcat image, you can use docker pull. Actually, we have to use this one console Tomcat hyphen 7.0. Or if you want to directly run it without pulling, we can directly create a container as well. First, it will download that container, download that image, and then it will create the container. For example, Docker run hyphen it hyphen name equal to Tomcat server. Okay, and I want to use the port host level 80, for example, 80, and container level anyway it's Tomcat, right? 8080, right? And I want, right, create it. I want to create it at the background hyphen b. I don't want to connect now. I want to create a background. Okay, what it will happen? It will create a Tomcat. First it will download that. Okay, uh, download that. So sorry, Tomcat. There is no space between. Okay, it is downloading. Right, that particular Tomcat image. Let's see that Docker ps fnva. So let me remove the other containers. We don't want these, right? So let me remove to avoid the confusion. Space. This one. Right. Docker ps hyphen. This one also I want to remove because it's not fully created. Let me remove it. Docker rm will create freshly. Let's say hyphen d option not works, so not working now. So let me remove it. Okay. So trash bin slash dash. Yeah. So now we are in the container. So let's go. Let's see that. So this is your server. So you should open 8080 port at the server level. Let's open it. Yeah. Click on edit inbound rules. Let's add a rule 8080 anywhere. Save. Now try to access it. So this is the server IP address and try with 8080. Sometime, please wait. So let's see the status of Tomcat. Uh, systemctl status of Tomcat. Yeah, it will take some time. Let's wait. Docker ps hyphen a. Start it, Docker start. Yeah, just see Docker start and the container. Right. Let me refresh. It took some time, so we have to wait for that, and it will come to running. So here, if you want to expose the port, one port you can use, right? So Docker, we are using Docker run, right? Hyphen IT, and you are providing some name, some Tomcat server, and after that you are trying to provide hyphen hyphen p, and the port number, right? Some 8080 colon some 8080, and finally you are providing uh, your image name, right? So yeah, what is the image name? This is the image name you are providing, right? So and after that you are providing the batch, right? Batch. So if you want to expose only one port from container to this image, you can use small p. Okay, if you want to do uh, entire ports I want to expose, you can use capital P. So small p is for only one particular port, and capital is P is for all the ports, all the ports. So just note down this command. Okay, just note down. Take some time, I think. Yeah, no issue. Just try to do that. Okay, so let's expose the port. If you see port number is exposed, so it took some time. So can you note down? So hyphen IT means interactive session. IT means interactive. Hyphen name. Okay. So it should be the name of your container. Okay. Equal to, and P means port. You want to expose the port number, you can provide the port number. Okay. Let me do now Jenkins, for example. Okay, that's why I removed, because we cannot use same ports at a time. So that's why I removed the prompt. So let me create one Jenkins. Okay, Docker run hyphen p, port number we have to expose it 8080 colon 8080, right? So hyphen name of the server equal to Jenkins, and background I want to create. Okay, and Jenkins slash Jenkins. We can use Jenkins, and for example, I want to use Tomcat also. So now I want to use another port, right? You cannot use same port, right? So let me open 8090 for my Tomcat. So I will create another container. This is for 8090 and I want to access it from anywhere. Okay, this is the Jenkins from the container. This is some Tomcat. This is just description. I can made the description. Okay. So now let's try to run this. So which will download the Jenkins and which will creates a container 8080 port exposure. Okay, now we didn't connect it to it because we didn't added any bin bash to connect the cell interactive method. We are not using any interactive method, right? And let's try to do it for Tomcat as well. So where is your Tomcat command? Here is your Tomcat, right? So you should not use the shell because the application is running at the background. So directly connect with the D. Background means background process. Hyphen D means background process, and you can use capital port number. No need to use interactive method. So hyphen capital P, and you can okay if you want to provide the name before D, you can provide the name hyphen name equal to this is Tomcat, right? So this is how you will create Docker run, and the port number should be 8090 because you cannot use same ports, right? If the host, this is host level, right? Means Docker server level. This is container level, right? So container level is 8080 and the host level is 8090. That's it. So now the containers are created. Let's see Docker ps-a. So this is Tomcat. This is Jenkins. How to access? So this is the port number 8080 is for Jenkins. You can it's blocking somewhere. Let me share reshare my screen. I think some network drop is happened. Yeah, okay. So you can see uh, I didn't install anything in my laptop. I'm in my main Docker server, but I created a containers. But I am using my main Docker server port numbers because container port numbers cannot accessible outside. If you see Docker inspect, just make it as a root user, so you can run history. So yeah, you can see these are the containers. Let's list down Docker ps-a, right? So I want to unlock the Jenkins. Where the Jenkins password is located inside the container. If you check it the main Docker server, you cannot see that. If you see cat, no, right? No file or directory. You cannot see that, right? So let's see where it is located inside the Jenkins server. Let's connect to this Jenkins server. So how we can connect? Docker exec hyphen it. This is the container ID, right? So Jenkins one copy and copy paste here slash bin slash bash. Here inside the container you can find out that this is the location. Just try to take this, right? This is the password. You're taking it from your Jenkins container, right? So this is the one. Just copy and paste it, right? So yeah, you can install suggested plugins. And this is the Tomcat. Click on manager app. Okay, username is admin, password also admin. So this is their one. So actually where the password is located, let me exit from the container, right? So cat slash user share Tomcat. Any file is there? No. If I trying to do that, nothing is there. Why? Because I install it in container. So I have to connect to the container, Tomcat container. So you can use Docker exec with an IT interactive session to the Tomcat server using slash bin slash. Now you say you are inside the container. So you can take it, check the services, systemctl status of Tomcat. Cannot see that directly, but the password you know where it is located. So slash user share, I think directly in the user maybe. Yeah, they are managing separately, but which image we have taken? Let's go to Docker Hub. They will show the location, the main location. This is Jenkins. This is Jenkins and Docker. I mean Jenkins. This is Tomcat. Yeah. So which image I have? We have taken this. So small correction, right? You have to use hyphen D before the background, right? Background we are creating. So before that's it. So yeah, you can run this. So same process. Jenkins also similar, but the port number will be different. This is Jenkins for. This is some 8090, and the image I am using Jenkins slash Jenkins. So you can try this, and let me share our chart. Right, so we are saving the time. We are not uh, uh, installing Jenkins, and we are not installing Tomcat. Simply we are running some simple commands. If you want to text, you can connect and you can test the anything, and after that if you want to uh, delete, you can simply delete the container. So no, not wasting the time, right? So if you see, this is the image, right? Tomcat 7. They said the main locations are under opt Tomcat, so that's why you're not seeing that in user share slash opt Tomcat, right? So here the configurations. So conf file, user Tomcat users.xml. So why I'm able to connect with admin password also admin. So that's why I'm able to connect directly, right, with the use of admin and admin. So and that is about thing that they mentioned here also, admin, right? So this is the Tomcat version it is already having. Okay. So if you want some Nexus kind of tool, you can find out Nexus standard images or the Sonar Cube standard images. Okay, but you have to find out the actual one which is working fine. So he mentioned here, if you see Docker run background tree hyphen D. Cannot use hyphen D at the back out last of the line. You should use in middle near to the image. So this is the name they are providing. They are opening 80881. The Nexus port number is 8081. So let me open 8081 also. Let's try to install Nexus. Add another port 8081 anywhere. Nexus for this. Save the rule. Now try to run the same run the command. Let's exit from the Tomcat. We have only two. Now try to create a next Sonar type Nexus also. So Nexus is one of the Artifactory repository. So what are the WAR files are generating using Maven? We will store it in the Nexus. Why we will store it? So if you have 4 or 5 versions of WAR file, so we can make use of those if you require any uh, lower down version degrading process. Okay, or version down, changing the version to lower version. So yeah, they will provide the commands, but sometimes yeah, when stopping is sufficient database time for the databases for slow down. Docker stop Tomcat container. Took some time. Maybe their side the sometimes images also will have the issue. Docker PSI. Yeah, if you see this, go to stopped state, right? Docker start. This is the container ID. Paste. So they are trying us to provide some timeline 120. So insufficient time is there. Let's see. Again, it's went to some stopped state, right? So Docker PS. I can provide the stop size time. Change the time to 120. Copy and paste. Now try to start the container again. Let's see the status now. Yeah. So the problem with this, the minimum RAM size required for the Sona type Nexus to start. The main Docker server is only 1 GB T2.micro. So that's why it is not able to start. Okay. Okay. That's the main issue. So building the Nexus repository manager time. So not required. So this one is having issue. So that's why. Okay. So we have to find out the actual one. Okay. So I will. You have to. I mean, you have to do some multiple type testings to find out the actual one. So you will get it actual image name from your organization. Okay. So if you see, this is another one. Some OSS. Okay. Docker run -b. This is the port number. Let me remove that old one. Let me create a new Docker PSF. Still it is stopped state. So let me remove it. Docker rm. This is the container ID. Just copy. Most probably we need to change T2.micro 1 GB RAM to some 4 GB RAM, then it will work smooth. Now let's try with another image. Okay, it is not their OSS, that's why it is downloading. So every time I'm downloading some images from other people repositories. So how to create our own repo, how to make our own image with your name. Okay, we can see that from tomorrow. Okay, if you see Docker PSI. Looks like it is up and running. It's not stopped. Yes. So let's try to access it with 8081. Yeah. Shame. So that is at their end. Okay. So right, our Tomcat is working fine and the Jenkins is working fine. So it should be the issue at their end. We had to recheck the image. So that is the issue at image level. Okay. I'm stopping it is by giving some 2 minutes time for the time to start and start the background process. But anyway, not required. I will find out the actual image which helps us to create. Okay. So can you do the practice? Okay, can you do the Tomcat and Jenkins servers creation or container creation, and we will see how to create our own container, how own image. Okay, from tomorrow. So for example, so this is a container you created, and you had worked for 2 hour 2 days, for example, in this container. Okay, and your manager is asking you to do same work after 1 month, similar kind of work. So you no need to worry every time. You don't need to do the same work every time. You can create your own image, okay, and you can upload your own image to the Docker Hub. So from the container, you can create a own image and you can upload it to the Docker Hub, right? So this is own image you created from the container, right? This is container. This is the main image, right? Base image. From the base image only you created the container. You had worked some work, right? And you did your own image creation and you upload it. So for pulling any downloading any image, you will use pull. If you want to upload any image, you will use some push. So how to push the image, right? We'll see tomorrow. So meanwhile, you can use this. Try to practice this today, and we'll meet tomorrow. Okay, and we can had some advanced topic, but you should have the prior knowledge of this creations and container working. Okay, yeah. So we'll meet tomorrow. Have a nice day. Okay.